Welcome to the Halley Elise Show, featuring your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise. She is an author, psychic, and media personality, and has been listed as one of the top 100 psychics in America. Empowerment psychic Halley Elise shares the spiritual, metaphysical, holistic, and magical powers of the universe. Follow Halley on her website at HalleyElise.com, and all her shows can be seen via live stream video. Now, here's your host, empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Good evening. Welcome to the Halley Elise Show. As you know, the first Monday of the month is Super Monday. We have the show, which is typically a rebroadcast. Tonight, not. We're doing something a little different. And also, we have the Psychic Gallery this evening. So if you're listening now, you could be at home. You need to get dressed and get yourself ready so when the show's over, you can come to the Psychic Gallery. If you're in the car, just keep on driving, get to Boca Raton, get to the Greenhouse building, and you can join us. All kidding aside, the Psychic Gallery is the first Monday of the month. It's at 7:30 p.m. It's an opportunity for you to come in, to relax, de-stress, to connect with your own intuitive abilities, and also to do a little play with energy and really tap into your own power, as well as experience some psychic phenomena. We have so much fun, so if you've not come out, you should. And this evening, obviously, since it's December, it is the last Psychic Gallery for the year, and I have some surprises for everybody, because those of you who know me know I like to give gifts. So Valentine's month, February, I give out gifts. September, my birthday month, I give out gifts. And then, of course, December, you've got Hanukkah, you've got Christmas, you've got Kwanzaa, and besides that, it's winter. It's my favorite time of the year, so great time to come out. So once again, 7:30 this evening. If you're thinking, well, I heard of it, but I don't remember, where is it? Just go to the website. It's HalleyElise.com, and all the information is there. Now, as far as this evening goes, you'll notice it's just me. There's no guests here. We're playing around a little bit, and I like to keep you abreast of what's going on. We're experiencing and trying, if you will, a beta test. So this evening you have me, and then the next show you'll see guests, but we're doing it in a different way, in a different format. And I would love to hear from you, not this evening so much, but after next week's show, you can let me know what you think. Do you like the new format? Do you not? Do you want to spice it up a little bit? And it's funny, my producer said to me I had to send him a list of things that I get excited about. That list is way too long. I haven't gotten to it yet. But again, those of you who have known me know that I've been around for a while. I used to do the radio show CHSR, or I should say with the call letters of the station, CHSR, out of California, and we did Conscious Sex. We did, what was it? Something about midnight. Can you believe? Push and pull at midnight. It took me a moment, and that was a couple of years ago, and that was on Blog Talk. And then over the years, there's been different things. Obviously, Quantum Life. The gist is anything that has to do with human essence, the soul, with energy, with living, with improving that, or to really enjoy yourself and enjoy the moment. That's what I get excited about. So, on that note, this evening, I want to talk about listening. And I know that sounds kind of funny, like, okay, how can that be exciting, or how can that be interesting in any way? But the truth of the matter is, people don't listen. It's really fascinating. I've been thinking about this for a few days, and I made a phone call to someone. I had to reschedule an appointment. So I called and I said hi, and I said my name, and this is what's going on, and I need to reschedule. So the person turns around and says something completely different than what I had said to them, and said, okay, I'll put that down in the notes. And I got off the phone and I thought, really? And it reminded me, not only do people not listen, they don't read. I had seen a group text for something for the media. There's a gal that I know that's involved, and the text was explicit. This is a change, this is the time, this is the date, this is the where, when, how, why, who, etc. This one girl, she writes back, when is it? And I had to laugh because all the information was there. So we seem to have become a society that, I don't know, just exists. We have computers, which are great, and we have smartphones, which are great, except for when they call my father at 2 o'clock in the morning and I have nothing to do with the phone. We have all sorts of wonderful technology that is taking place in our world, but you have to wonder about all that electromagnetic static. You have to wonder about all of that power that's coming from these devices. Do they actually affect us? There have been studies said that For instance, with cell phones, and I'm just sharing that there are studies and that it's only germane to those who it is important to. But supposedly, if you have a cell phone that you put to your ear all the time, that you are more inclined to get brain cancer. And people think, oh my God, that's awful. That can't be true. But do we really know what that energy does? And I'm using the word energy versus electricity because everything on the face of the planet has an element of energy. It has a, if you will, an integral part of it that is energy, from the table to the amethyst here to the microphone to us as humans. We talk about auras and fields, and we talk about things that are esoteric and psychic and tapping into that. Well, we couldn't tap into any of that if it did not have an energy signature, if it, by its own nature, didn't send something out. So let me backtrack here. Listening, reading, those are things that, if you will, call upon a different energy. They're more subtle. They're more innate. They are more, if you will, passive. I think, truly, we've become a society that, is so connected to that next thing, that thing that's going to excite us, that's going to move us, that energy that has nothing to do with us. It's more about, ooh, I can sit here and look at something and it happens on its own. Think about it. We have voice command for the phone. We have voice command for the computer. We have smart houses where you can say, open the door, and it does it, or turn the oven on, or turn the radio on. Again, this is energy, but it shifts how we ourselves as humans use our energy. I have friends that are shaman and friends that do a lot of sacred ceremony, and they talk about reconnecting when they go back to places in the mountains where you don't have cell phones and you don't have TVs and you don't have all of these, if you will, electrical appliances that are interfering. And I say that truly, it is an interference, but interfering with who you are. And when you are out in nature and you are still, you have the ability to reconnect with that innate energy of your own, that innate awareness and knowing, that connectedness. And the reason I bring this up is, as I said, here, make a phone call, I'm postponing an appointment. The person on the other end can't pay attention for less than 30 seconds. How often does that happen? The person who didn't read the message, how often does that happen? How much information is misconstrued? How often do we not communicate? On, I think it was Sex and the City, they had the one person who broke up with the other person via a Post-it note. Nowadays it's text messages. I'm not interested in you. And I actually know somebody like that. I know a girlfriend who was dating this guy for like 3 months. Seemed like things were going along nicely. And one day he sent her a text message and said, I changed my mind. I don't think we're a good match. Take care. Really? Where is that energy that has to do with standing in somebody's space and feeling it? It reminds me of an expression, close talker, where perhaps in school you had that one person who leaned in a little too close and you felt like your space was invaded. It's not because your space actually was invaded so much as it was your energy field, that part of you that is intrinsic, that is always with you, was impinged upon. It's not the space, it's that energy. So think about this. If your personal energy is not sent out into the world, if you are not receiving another's energy, if you're not interacting, we become very much like the movies of the future where they show test tubes to generate people, where that's not even necessary because you can just clone at this point. You have something that you can just go, oh, here it is. We're going to push that button. We're going to mix the component A with the component B, and we are going to come up with a brown-haired, blue-eyed person. We become less than what we are because we're not communicating, because we are not paying attention, because we're not a part of our world. Don't get me wrong. I love technology, and when I'm not blowing it up, I have a really great time with it. But all kidding aside, there's nothing like interacting with someone and having a great time. I had the opportunity to visit with a friend just the other day. Matter of fact, she'll be on next week if all goes well. And we hadn't seen each other in quite a while. We spent a lot of time together, but life gets in the way. So I popped over there to drop off some homemade cookies and some soup, which that's my thing when I have time for it. And we sat down. And between playing with the wolves and the birds squawking and the turtles bebopping back and forth, and she and I just conversing and laughing and talking about anything and everything from this supposed, and I say supposed really because I am very leery, change with evolution and humanity that is supposedly happening right in this moment and is supposed to pop all of a sudden, and the changes in our planet and the changes in cultures and looking at wars, talking about all of that, and then moving to something as silly as funny romances and how come those don't seem to be as popular, and you know what happened to vaudeville. My point being, there is nothing like interacting with someone and feeling them, being a part of their space, being a part of that energy, and paying attention, really listening to someone and, if you will, absorbing that information, internalizing it so it becomes yours, not just answering. How many people, seriously, today listen to someone and they've already come up with all the answers in their head before the person even finished their sentence? Truly, how often does that happen? It's all the time of late. You know, you say to somebody something like, oh, I was thinking about moving. And before you even say what it is that you're looking at or that you desire, the other person says to you, oh, well, you should go over there and you should talk to so-and-so and you should. That's not listening. That's not interacting. That's not living. I'm sorry, it's not. You're on automatic, like the TV, like the camera, like the phone, like all of these other things. And again, don't get me wrong, I have a ball with this stuff. Those of you who follow me on Facebook see every once in a while I'm playing with the camera and checking out all its features and the coloring, and I love all that. But to me, that's an artistic endeavor. It's not just being separate from it, it's becoming a part of it. So I just want to put this out here. See if you can't challenge yourself this week. See if you can't say, okay, I'm going to listen more. See how much you actually remember from a conversation. Not because it's your memory in the sense of saying, okay, I can remember everything. But see how much you remember because you felt it, because you experienced it. When we do hypnosis or we do past life regression, those are things that work with energy. It is not just the intellect. It is not just the memory. It's not just consciousness. It is something beyond that. It is about that energy body that exists. And the fact that we are more than just a physical being should really be a reminder that we need to act as more than that. And how hard is it to be kind? I'll give you an example, because this kind of falls into the, if you will, under the same blanket. There's something I had posted. Again, I'm going to use Facebook because everybody is into social media today, including me. It's a great way to market and advertise. But I had something that I posted about others being a mirror. Somebody behaves a certain way, and you find it very offensive, and you may go into that place of, I don't think so. You're nasty to me. I'm going to be nasty to you. No, I'm going to be more nasty. And I was saying that the mirror is not about a reflection of your meanness or a reflection of nasty, or, if you will, a way to insinuate that into your space, but it's more a matter of what is it that they are representing that you have a part of within yourself that perhaps you want to transmute, or perhaps you need to remember, or perhaps you were that way recently and simply need to go back to it to re-examine it. It is not about just a definitive response. It is not about just it's black and white. And again, that goes back to listening, to seeing, to reading, to hearing, to being a part of what's going on. Being kind is really quite simple. You don't have to like what's going on. You don't have to appreciate what somebody says. But how much effort, really and truly, does it take to be kind? To actually listen. Perhaps that person who's being nasty isn't nasty because that's who they are, but because there's hurt there under the surface. Perhaps if you paid attention to what they were saying and looked at their body language and felt energetically what was going on, you would notice something way beyond what you were just seeing, that black and white. Those gray areas are really important, and I truly find that as technology evolves, and again, I'm going to reiterate, I like technology, but I don't want to lose sight of that humanness. How about writing a letter? When's the last time you did that? I'm not talking about an email. I'm talking about actually writing a letter. I had a friend who treated me to a lovely weekend up north. And of course, I spoke to him on the phone and whatnot, but I went ahead and I got a card and I wrote a letter. And as I was doing it, I was thinking, this is so much fun. I actually enjoy taking the time to find something that somebody else will be tickled with, surprised with, that they will find appreciation in. That's that connection I'm talking about. And whether you are in a condo surrounded by a million people and there is lots going on, or you are on that mountaintop and nothing is going on, you have that ability to get still, to listen, to be able to connect better. So give some thought to that. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Thank you. Hi, I'm Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise, and I'm here to let you know that I will be at the Florida Renaissance Festival the second week of February going to March 15th. Looking forward to having a little purple tent there, and each weekend is so much fun because they're doing theme weekends. Once again, it's going to be at Quiet Waters Park, and that is in Deerfield Beach. You can check out more information on ren-fest.com. Once again, that's ren-fest.com. And, check out the photos too. They'll make you smile. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. Thanks so much.
You're listening to Empowerment Psychic Halley Elise, and she invites you to visit her website for more information about all that she does at halleyelise.com. Now, back to your host, Empowerment Psychic, Halley Elise.
Welcome back to the Halley Elise Show. Before the break, I was sharing with you, if you will, my views, obviously, and you have your own, but about technology and about humanness and connecting and energy. And I guess not the gist of it is not losing sight of the fact that people matter. There was this wonderful little video that was done on how you could miss the best part of your life if you're not paying attention, because all you're paying attention to is your smartphone. And it opens up basically with this guy walking, and his head is down because he's looking at his phone and he's doing his own thing, and the girl of his dreams is there, and he keeps walking, never meets her because he's looking at his cell phone. And then it shows you a different view, as if they do meet, because he's not just engrossed in his phone. He's seeing the world around him. And we constantly see these types of things as little reminders, yet we get very caught up. How often do you turn your phone off? I was having dinner, and it was funny because I was teasing my mom. When we were kids, if the phone rang, you didn't go near it. She would be the one to pick up if it was picked up, and she'd say, "I'm sorry, little Susie, Johnny, whatever, we're having dinner. They'll call you back." But you weren't allowed to be on the phone during dinner. Dinner was about family. Dinner was about being there with each other. You could do whatever you wanted after. Now, we're in restaurants today, and you have people everywhere that don't even look at each other. Truly. It was very surreal, and I think I may have mentioned this on another show. I went with a friend for dinner, and both of us kind of looked around and looked at each other and went, okay, or did we go somewhere we didn't know, like different planet, different dimension? And we look around, and no joke, all the people at all the other tables had their faces in their phones. And that by itself, in and of itself, is fine. But there were couples that did not talk. There were parents with children that didn't talk. And I just think it's very sad. So you are eating, breathing, living, sleeping technology. Where is your humanness? Where is that, again, that listening? Where is that paying attention? Where is that part of you that is so intrinsic to who you are as a human being? You can't continue to ignore everything and feel as if life has quality. Seriously. I can't tell you how many people come to me at the office and they are forlorn because they don't have what they want. By the same token, they don't take a break. They are, from the moment they get up to the time they go to sleep, interacting with some sort of device. Actually, I asked somebody recently, a woman who had come in, to the office about what's her ritual before she goes to bed? She goes, what ritual? I said, you don't have like a bedtime ritual? You know, you take maybe an hour before you go to bed and you brush your teeth, brush your hair, listen to some music, you know, whatever. She said, no, I pretty much throw my clothes off and I fall over. Okay, well, what were you doing prior to that? Well, I was on the computer. Okay, and when you're not on the computer, oh, I'm on the phone. Okay, and is there any time during your day that you just take quiet? Well, no, I'm busy. Well, I eat. Okay, and so when you eat, is your phone there? Well, of course, I don't want to miss a call. See my point? Nothing wrong with taking advantage of all the opportunities that we have, but there is something wrong when you're not nurturing yourself, and you're incapable of nurturing other people if you can't nurture yourself. There's something I learned a long time ago. I was looking after my Nana, my grandma. She had Alzheimer's, and she also had a broken hip, and she was living with me. And I had gone to a program to find out about the best way to work with her, to help her, to be there. And they were saying that so often the caregivers pass, especially in a husband and wife situation, prior to the person they're looking after. And the reason for that is because they're not taking care of themselves. There's also that old saying about if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? A bunch of cliches, yes. But guess what? Listen for you. Where is it in your world at this moment that you energetically can restore? Where is it in this moment that you can allow yourself to be a little bit more kind, a little more compassionate, understanding? Where is it in this moment that no matter what's going on, you can laugh it off? Where is it in this moment that if somebody sends you a note, you actually take a moment to read it, and not only read it, but respond with more than an okay or a yes? Really and truly, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? Society is going to continue to evolve, and thankfully so. I don't think any of us really want to live in a cave. And as far as for women's lib, you know, being pulled by the hair and yanked around, that just doesn't work so much. By the same token, what is it you want from your life? Are these things that you're interacting with going to make a difference when you pass? Really? You know that the old saying about you can't take money with you? Well, you can't take your technology with you. Somebody can record your passing, sure. They can perhaps capture the moment that you transition out of your body if they have, you know, special devices. But are you going to take any of that with you? No. You're not taking your camera, your video recorder, your telephone, your what have you. You know what you take? You take the essence of your life. And that's true. You take that which you've learned, that you've connected with, that you've loved. So how can you afford to not connect with that type of thing? How can you afford to not live your life and actually be a part of your life? So obviously this evening is about my viewpoint. If you come out to the Psychic Gallery, it'll be a little different. But I just really was so impressed upon by noticing the lack of interest in other people, the lack of wanting to even connect. When was the last time you just said hello to somebody just because? My family teases me all the time because I'll talk to anybody anywhere. I mean, I have made friends in ladies' rooms. It's a family joke. You can't take me anywhere. On an elevator, on an escalator. Really and truly, pretty much anywhere I have made friends, exchanged cards, started great conversations, and not because it was the intention to do any of this, but it was just the intention to interact with the person next to me. I have stood near somebody and just noticed that they look sad. And so I've taken a moment to say, oh, you know, you've got very pretty hair, or I like your bag, or something that gives them a moment of pause away from what it is that's consuming them. You can't do that if you're not looking. You can't do that if you're not paying attention. And I'm not suggesting that everybody has to be me. I'm not suggesting that everybody has to fix everything for everyone. I am not suggesting that you have to be nice to the entire world. Not everybody's going to love you. You're not going to love everybody. That's a given. By the same token, if you're nice to someone and they don't expect it, and you see all of a sudden something come of that, not because they become your best friend, but you see a light go on, you've done a good deed. In Hebrew, it's a mitzvah. There are not enough mitzvahs. You hear about the rare individuals who go out of their way to do something brave to help someone. As a matter of fact, I heard something on the radio recently that I just thought was so astounding and so wonderful. It was up north. I don't recall if it was New Hampshire, but I think it was. There was a gentleman who had his baby in the car seat in the back, doing what he was supposed to, driving normal speed, but there was something in the road with the ice that his tire hit, and his vehicle, which was an SUV, flipped over and ended up into an icy ravine, and the baby was underwater. The father was underwater. The father was able to get himself free and came up for air and wanted to go back for the baby, obviously. But there was a passerby who noticed what took place and dove in without any regard for himself to the icy water, was able to get into the vehicle and rescue the baby. Now, again, not that everybody has to do that, but how amazing is it that someone just let go of their stuff, whatever stuff was there in the moment, and thought nothing about anything other than helping, being there, interacting. You can't get that by hitting like. You can't get that by a K. Everything abbreviated, nothing paid attention to. So, inasmuch as this evening may have seemed like a lecture, that wasn't my intention. Truly, my intention was to share something that I feel very passionate about, that I really want us to connect. I really want us as people to know that it is so important to not lose that. You want great sex? Then you need to connect with that person. You want intimacy with your children so that they're honest with you? You have to talk to them. You have to listen. It's really that simple. So I appreciate you tuning in. As I said, we're going to start a new format. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Tell you real briefly, this coming Friday, we're jazzing it up. We will have an audience. If you'd like to be a part of that audience, get in touch with me. Either call or go to the website, send an email, Facebook, etc. You can find me pretty much everywhere. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope I'll see a lot of you at the Psychic Gallery tonight. And remember, the third Monday of the month is Psychic Monday, so you can call in and get your readings then. Have a great night, and you know what? Enjoy the holiday season. Thank you. Bye-bye.